Summer is a great time to relax and take a break from the academic work that we have during the year. But it's also a great time to boost our resume and do some sort of activity outside of traditional academic experiences that is able to boost our resume and college applications. Hi, I'm Michael, I'm a student at Brown, and today I'm going to go through 5 key ways that we can maximize the time spent during the summer by doing activities that impress Ivy League colleges. Also, if you have specific questions you'd like to reach out to me about regarding Ivy League admissions, I just opened a new profile on Minnect, Minnect, and you can click the link down below to reach out to me. The first activity that will impress Ivy League schools are summer programs, but specifically selective summer programs. Now, what do I mean by selective summer programs? There is basically a lot of programs from these top 10, top 20 universities or colleges across America that allow students to experience a gist of what life is like there. But a lot of the times, these programs aren't really good and they don't really offer an advantage to enter any selective college. Honestly, you're just paying a lot of money to sort of experience what it's like to attend that college, and the selection criteria isn't as rigorous as one might expect. So instead of doing those sort of summer programs where you pay to go to some top 20 university for 2 weeks and meet other people, what I do recommend instead of doing that is to get into or apply to some selective summer programs. Now, selective summer programs are more prestigious because of their acceptance rate, or more specifically, the number of students that they allow into the program. For example, there are programs that allow 12 students into it or admit 10% of applicants. It's very selective, and it's important to look for and apply to these different programs so that potentially you could put that on your resume and also improve your academic experience as a student in high school. So, for example, I will post a link in the description of a website that gives a ton of examples across the US, but 3 that stood out to me: the program in mathematics for young scientists, PROMYS, that invites one of the top mathematical students or some of the top mathematical students back every year to learn different advanced mathematical concepts. There's also the Notre Dame Leadership Seminars, which are a more general sort of summer program that any student can attend. And again, this is to say that you don't have to have a specific niche that you want to go into if you want to do a summer program. There are opportunities available to different students. Besides that, there's the National Institute of Health High School Summer Internship Program, which sort of intersects with something I'll talk about with later, but this also is a great opportunity to do research and to do research under a nationally accredited institution. And these are great opportunities in general, but there's so many more on that website. So if you want to look into it, just take that link. I'm not affiliated with that link in any way, but I just found it to be a good resource. Now, the second opportunity to impress Ivy League colleges and top 20 colleges throughout the summer is by doing a passion project or by pursuing a passion project. So a passion project can honestly be a ton of things, but the important aspect of a passion project is to show your drive. It's to show your ambition and your ability to create something bigger than yourself. It doesn't necessarily have to be some sort of nonprofit, as cliche as that opportunity is, but it can be, for example, a business that you want to pursue, an entrepreneurial endeavor. Something along those lines could both benefit you and your application because it is impressive to pursue some sort of business opportunity. Besides that, there are also social media pages, things promoting different issues that connect to your passion and the area that you want to study in university. And although I do say that there are general opportunities for students, it is important to figure out, as you're going through high school, the general path that you want to apply down, because undecided applicants just don't tend to look as good when we're applying to colleges. Now, in terms of other opportunities for passion projects, you could start a local business. You could work with some sort of local business to pursue some endeavor. There's honestly so many different ways it can be spun, but honestly, just thinking and brainstorming of a few ideas that you are passionate about and then thinking of ways that you can improve upon those areas for your own work can be a great way to show these top schools that you are in fact driven, you're ambitious, and you can make a difference. Because in the end, these schools want somebody who's going to make a change in the world and to become successful. And one of the great ways to show that is when you're doing that already as a high school student. The third way to impress colleges over the summer is by pursuing volunteering, and specifically long-term volunteering. Now, there are definitely programs you go travel to some sort of nation and then you have some sort of volunteering work done, maybe some traveling done as well. And while there's nothing wrong inherently with these programs, it is easier and inherently better to volunteer in your local community and to do something more long-term. So, for example, volunteering for 40 hours abroad in Europe doing something to help the local rural communities there might look okay on the resume, but again, you just paid for the opportunity to do that. So for example, going to your local animal shelter and volunteering to do something there if that's your passion, to become, for example, a veterinarian, or volunteering, for example, as a campaign associate for a political representative, for a politician, would look great for somebody who wants to go into politics. Again, the volunteering doesn't necessarily have to align with your academic plans, because in the end, you can always sort of string together a story about how all of these relate to your passions and your desires for what you want to study in college. But it is important to consider, what do you want to volunteer in, and what are you actually passionate about, and what do you want to work for in the future? If you want to go into politics, like I said, that example before is a great opportunity to go into politics. But if you were to go into something like mathematics, volunteering to tutor students, for example, could be a great opportunity to show that you're driven. And this, again, could be over the long term, or could even develop into a business, which goes back into passion projects. Now, another thing with volunteering is that it's also a great opportunity to get leadership positions. If you volunteer over a long-term period, it is easier inherently to gain major positions in an organization that you work under. But again, it's important to pick organizations that will give you those opportunities. If you're working in different organizations and they just seem to be, I guess, not promoting you in any way, or not allowing you to do very impactful work, despite your ability and capability to do so, I would look into other organizations, or potentially even start your own, which again goes back into doing a passion project. But besides volunteering, another great opportunity, and the fourth way to impress colleges over the summer, is to pursue an internship. Now, you might be thinking, how am I supposed to get an internship in high school if college students are struggling to get internships in the first place? But there are always specific opportunities for internships for high school students. For example, the National Institute of Health research internship that I mentioned previously. In addition, if you're more into economics and finance, there is a Bank of America summer program that acts as an internship, and I believe that pays students as well. So if you're lucky, your internship could even pay you to work for a certain company, and it will show that you are driven and able to be picked among a group of students who applied to work under that position, which is a great way to show colleges that you're committed and a great student to pick for their student body. Now, if applying to these internships, again, there are some on that website from the previous link I mentioned. If that doesn't work, there's always a great way to get internships by leveraging your connections. So everybody has a different starting network to begin with. For example, if your parents are in finance and you want to go into finance, then you're obviously going to have more opportunities to network and even secure some sort of internship position as a student. And depending on the company, it could be as simple as getting coffee for the workers, which will at least expose you to the industry, or it'll work you to the bone day and night, as a finance internship potentially does. But the main point that I'm making is that your family friends, and your friends all have connections to different industries that you should be asking about and taking advantage of. I know so many friends who are looking to get internships, and there's always some sort of networking involved. For example, when I was looking for internships at Brown, they have a program specifically to get internships for Brown students. So these internships, for example, were only available to students at Brown, which was a great help in, for example, applying under a less competitive pool to get these opportunities. Now, even if you're not at university or some sort of prestigious high school or private high school, there are always opportunities for your family or for your friends that will allow you to get these internships. For example, if your friend's mom is a doctor and you want to work under her, it might not necessarily be an internship, but even to shadow them, that opportunity is much more likely to occur when you've met them before and know them well. So for example, if you were seeing a doctor or dermatologist, you could ask them to shadow, and if they know you, there's a greater likelihood that they would be willing to take you under their wing for a bit. Now, again, these are different opportunities in different sectors, but the same rule applies. If you're in politics or your family's in politics, getting a political internship is going to be easier. And although connections might not get you the first opportunity that you get, and you just might apply through these different programs online, it is something to consider, especially since people are born into some really great networks. But again, you can always expand your network. And I think that's one of the most undervalued skills in a career, because ultimately networking is what's going to get you that leg into a company in the future. And understanding and meeting employees is going to help you get a good word or a letter of reference from people when you're trying to apply to specific companies across the US or across the globe. Now, the fifth and final opportunity to pursue during the summer that will impress Ivy League colleges are competitions and networking events. Now, I put these all under one category because they're not as long-term as the previous categories mentioned, but in specifics, what I'm saying about competitions is that there could be some major competitions in your local, regional, or national area that allow you to show your acumen in different sectors of education. For example, there's a ton of mathematics competitions happening all across the nation of the US. There's state competitions, all of that. A lot of them are during the academic year, but there's definitely opportunities to pursue and study for different competitions during the summer. So even if there isn't a competition that's occurring during the summer, if you are very passionate about one field of work, for example, biology, chemistry, mathematics, there are definitely competitions occurring during the academic year that you can get a head start on studying for over the summer. And in addition to these competitions, there's also often times to network at these events, especially if they're very prestigious. So when going to competitions, it's important to make friends with people there, not only for social reasons, but also in case they're successful in the future and you want to reach out to them to pursue some sort of internship opportunity or work at a company that they worked at before. That's a great opportunity to network and expand the network that I just discussed in the previous section. Furthermore, there are tons of networking events in different sectors occurring in major cities across the US. So if you're in the metropolitan area of any major city, there's often great opportunities to just sign up for networking events and just talk to people in the industry to see how it is. Because in the end, what you want to know is how your life is going to look like when you enter this industry. And asking people who are 5 to 10 years older than you is the best way to understand if that's the area that you want to go into. But I digress. Networking events could also just be a fun opportunity to socialize with people who could be older than you or around the same age as you. So don't take them for granted. Look for them throughout the summer. Just do some Googling, and I'm sure there's some opportunities available, whether on LinkedIn, Facebook, or some other social media platform. I have one major bonus tip to go into in terms of opportunities, and that is to leave time for fun during the summer. Although talking about Ivy League admissions and the application process can be so stressful, having gone through it myself, the time during the summer is a great way to just take a time to relax. It is the time of the year when the sun's out. There's plenty of time to do these resume opportunities, but this is also a great time to go on vacation, whether it be with family or friends. This is a great time to go travel abroad. It's also a great time to go to sleepaway camp, whether you want to be a camper or a counselor. It's a great way to make new friends. So balance is the key in terms of not letting yourself burn out, especially if you don't give yourself a break during the summer. So make sure to comment down below your favorite summer leisure activity, and make sure to also, if you're in your junior year or going into your senior year, to start writing your Common App essay, because it's great to have it done by around the time of August, September. Again, if you have any Ivy League admissions or personal questions that you want to reach out to me with, feel free to connect with me on Minnect, Minnect, in the link below in the description. And be sure to like and subscribe for more Ivy League admissions content. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.